Thank you, Diana, and Peter, and Robin for this, those kind words. Thank you all for coming here tonight. Yeah, I wrote a speech too, and I'll start here. I just wanted to actually thank you for being patrons of the arts and people who look to film and art and television and music not as a pastime, but as a fabric of your lives. And it takes that kind of energy and commitment to the arts to make something like what you're about to see, Wakefield, become a reality. It doesn't have a tremendous commercial upside. You're not going to be seeing Wakefield break box office records or anything like that, but is that what art really is about? Isn't it about telling stories? And you could do that through music or dance or art or anything. And that's the wonderful thing about human beings, and that connects us all, no matter what country you come from, what culture you were raised in, how you were influenced, what your economic status is, what your educational background is. Doesn't matter. Your earliest memory is probably dragging a book to your parents' lap and sitting in their lap and having them tell you a story. That's the sweetest thing about human beings, is that continues on throughout our entire lives. Please, tell us a story. We are even willing to pay hard-earned money to be told a story. And you know damn well that when you watch this movie, that's not Howard Wakefield, but it's me. It doesn't matter. We love to be told stories so much that we're willing to suspend our belief and be taken on a ride. Whether you're watching a beautiful dancer just give her interpretation of a simple story, or a musician or an orchestra, how we get carried away with that. We imagine where we are. We become our own production designers and art directors of our own imagination. And we create a whole world. So thank you for that. Thank you, Diana, for putting this production on. It is something that I cherish, to be able to say from the age of 25 that I make a living as a storyteller. I've made the transition from, I also want to hear those stories, but now I get to also tell those stories. There are very, very few people in the world who are able to do that, and it never escapes me. I am constantly reminded of that fact, of how fortunate I am, how very, very lucky I am to be able to be a storyteller for a living. Because it's valuable, and it's not an elective. It's part of our lives, and I thank you for that. And for those who are artists themselves, actors, writers, directors, musicians, I just want to keep encouraging you to keep going, keep creating your art form, keep discovering new ways, keep making mistakes, and then doing it all over again. That's the only way you get through. And know this, that if you are a professional, that there are certain things that you will need in order to succeed as a professional in the world of arts. Talent. You have to have talent. And you know you do. You also have to be persistent and patient. And they don't conflict with each other. They're two very different characteristics. But the last thing is something that is an X factor, and that's luck. There is not one successful person in the arts, I truly believe this, who doesn't look back and say, oh, there were a series of lucky breaks that I had that put me in that position. And I am certainly no exception. I wrote about them. And I want to continue to tell young artists, whether they're young actors or writers, to stay the course, stay in there. You're dedicating your life to this. And that's what it takes, a total dedication. But it's worthwhile, it really is. I also want to say thank you to the volunteers of this festival, because those are the people who are here for the right reasons, as are you, and supporting the arts. The CineMerit Award was a surprise to me, and I didn't know that I would qualify for such a thing. I'm certainly old enough, and perhaps celebrity came to me late at 41 years old, and maybe that's why I have such a high appreciation for what has happened in my life. But I am truly grateful to receive this honor, and thank you again to Robin Swycourt, a brilliant writer and director who was a wonderful collaborator and a friend. And Peter, a new friend, thank you very much for your kind words and very, very interesting words. Professorial words, and then the striptease to see my own face on some of it. You know, what's really strange is when you see your image as a tattoo on someone's behind. That's when you know you've truly made it in this world. Just to make sure that all of you have that opportunity, I've hired a tattoo artist out in the front. So after the movie, we're all going to get tattoos on our bums, okay? Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the movie.